Our topic is stem cell research. Stem cells, according to TCS.org, are unspecialized cells that develop into specialized cells that make up the different types of tissues in the human body. They are vital to the growth, development, maintenance, and repair of our bones, brains, nerves, muscles, and other organs. Now, the existing policy on stem cell research states that embryonic and non-embryonic stem cell research should be supported by federal funds. Our opposing policy is that the federal government should restore the restrictions on stem cell research established in August 2001. President Bush authorized federal funding for all non-embryonic stem cell research. And the embryonic stem cell lines that were used prior to the announcement of this policy. Our inherency claim against the existing policy is that human embryonic stem cells are human beings. The Domestic Policy Council states that embryos are humans in their earliest developmental stage. We do not have to think that human embryos are exactly the same in all ways as older humans to believe that they are entitled to respect and protection. Each of us originated as a single-celled embryo, and from that moment have developed along a continuous biological trajectory throughout our existence. To speak of an embryo is to designate a human being at a particular stage. According to Judith Johnson from Congressional Stem Cell Research Services, because the stem cells are located within the embryo, the process of removing the cells destroys the embryo. The existing policy funds embryonic stem cell research, and embryonic stem cell research destroys human life, so that poses a problem. As said by the Domestic Policy Council, our nation was founded on the principle that all of us are created equal and endowed with the right to exist that is shared fully by all humans. There is no such thing as an excess life. And the fact that a human lacks some particular capacity, or even is going to die, does not justify experimenting on that individual or exploiting him or her as a natural resource. This principle of equality and the right to exist demands a boundary to protect all humans, in this case, the embryo. According to Sneeder Carter from the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy, this principle of contingent personhood would produce monstrous practical results, including, for example, a sliding scale of moral and legal standing for people based on their cognitive ability, usefulness, and strength. Bush has always mentioned that embryos are weak, and the fundamental purpose of the government is to protect the weak from the strong. Our inherency claim is that the use of embryonic stem cells are scientifically proven flawed. According to an article written by Maureen Kondik, first, there are concerns that the embryonic stem cells and their derived tissue would be rejected by the patient's immune system, requiring the patient to undergo lifelong immune suppression. In addition to that, there is a serious problem that embryonic stem cells form tumors when transplanted to adult tissues, and the tumorigenic capability of these cells is difficult, if not impossible, to control. According to humanity's model, even more alarming than the formation of benign tumors, several studies over the past 5 years have raised concerns that the longer embryonic stem cells are maintained in the laboratory, or presumably in the tissues of adult human patients, the more likely they are to convert to malignant cancer cells. Although the finding that embryonic stem cells are spontaneously converted to cancer cells, it is clear that some, if not all, embryonic stem cells undergo this conversion. So even though human embryonic stem cell research promises to cure uncurable diseases, they are being overshadowed by their complications. Our last claim is our solvency claim, that states that human embryonic stem cells should be abandoned in favor of alternatives, such as adult stem cells, induced pluripotent stem cells, and amniotic fluid. According to Hayes Richards, adult stem cells have the ability to differentiate into varieties of a particular type of cell, determined by the type of tissue in which they are found. Adult stem cells are found in all but the very earliest stage of human development. The other alternative is induced pluripotent stem cells. According to the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy, induced pluripotent stem cells may very well displace embryonic stem cell research among the world's elite scientists. Leaders in the field appear to be already shifting their resources in pursuit of this approach. Lastly, Dr. Anthony Atala, in an interview in PBS, he states that amniotic, one of the newest alternatives, is just like human embryonic stem cells. In fact, it has almost identical replicating ability as a human embryonic stem cell. Our plan of action is to restore the restrictions that, under the Bush administration, since it does not destroy human life, and it continues the progress of stem cell research.
Now, let's wait.